Welcome back to Free Speech Nation. Next Tuesday, the UK Supreme Court will consider the question, is a person with a gender recognition certificate a woman? Author J.K. Rowling has weighed into the debate, saying that on a post on X that whatever the outcome of the case, it won't change what a woman is. But is the court deciding whether to remove rights from women and girls? For more on this, I am joined now by criminal defence lawyer Paul Britton. Paul. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. So, this seems like a very important case.
It is an important case, particularly because of the ramifications that it can have for women. I mean, your intro there was about what is a woman, and obviously you can't tamper with what a woman is at the biological level, but in terms of the legal definition of what a woman is, of course, that can be left open to interpretation. The Equalities Act is particularly unhelpful in defining what a woman is. At Section 212, it says a woman is a female of any age. So it's almost just like using another word to describe what a female is. So the court is now going to be asked or invited to interpret what that definition is in a more robust, specific sense, so that we all know, at least at the legal level, what the interpretation of a woman is. Yeah,
I mean, this has been a long time coming. This has been kind of thought at different levels through organisations, for online, and we've had up to now the most is that you're allowed to at least believe that a woman is a adult human female, that belief is protected.
But belief is protected. Belief
is protected. Now that case was fought and won by Mayor Forslater. This is taking things to the next level. And would this have been moot anyway because the Conservative government were trying to actually codify what a woman is for the Equality Act? That was one of the things they were talking about, wasn't it?
I mean, this stems from Scotland, really, and it's the UK Supreme Court that's been asked to look at it. Again, it's not the first time, I should say, that the definition of a woman has come before the courts in this country. In 1970, before the Matrimonial Causes Act, and certainly before the Equalities Act, a gentleman married a woman. She was born a man. He married her knowing that. 3 years into the marriage, they decided to divorce. She issued proceedings for maintenance pending suit. His lawyers responded and said, well, no, she's not a woman, she's a man, and therefore legally we're not married. And the court said that no, absolutely, she is a man, and they annulled the marriage. So it's not the first time we've had this situation, but you say it's been a long time coming. It's really been coming since 2010, when the Equalities Act. And I have to say, rightly, when statute makers write law, they often leave it to the judiciary to interpret what these words mean, in this case, what a woman is. They do that because social moods change, and the definitions should evolve with what the public, at any one time, want that word to mean.
The issue, I guess, is that it isn't necessarily what the public want that word to mean. It seems to be a small number of activists have very hardly pushed and have arguably gone into into different organisations to push their interpretation of what a woman is, which is essentially a biological male with this certificate. Even without it, people self-declaring. If it's enough now to say, I am a woman, whatever your physical appearance or not, if I feel like it, that's enough.
Yes, well, I mean, this has been pushed into the spotlight, particularly because individuals who were born men become women, and then they want to use the female toilets, or they want to be on a women's only ward, or they want to go to refuge centres where women are subject to domestic violence by men. Now, those women who are biologically a woman, don't want men in that facility because, rightly, they have now got a fear against men. And just because you identify as something else doesn't automatically make you that sex. So that is why it's been pushed into the spotlight.
So this is this is obviously being argued at the moment in the courts. What are the ramifications either way, depending on the outcome, then?
Well, they are massive. I mean, in a place like this, I mean, actually, GB News is quite fortunate because you have unisex toilets. A lot of places don't have that, so they will have to rethink how their toilet setup is going to be. Refuge centres will not be able to refuse services to someone just because they were born a man and now they identify as a woman. If the law says, because you identify as a woman, you are that, then you'll have to offer them those services. Female-only wards will be impacted as well. You know, further than that, for us as criminal defence lawyers, criminal statistics, let's look at the prison population. There's roughly 90,000 inmates at the moment in this country. Only 3,000 of them are women. Now, if a section of men start identifying as women, it's going to start interfering with who commits crime in this country and how we're going to deal with it. We've also got female-only prisons. Are we going to start letting individuals who were born men, I'm very careful with my language, individuals who were born men...
We have let them in. So we've let, we had male rapists let into prison and...
Well, I mean, this is a prime example, and that's one of the reasons it's actually in the spotlight. You know, you have someone who's born a man, rapes women, then he becomes a woman, gets arrested, and ends up in a female prison amongst women who are actually now probably going to be at risk by her would be the correct pronoun because they now identify as a woman, but actually biologically are him.
And will this case be pushed further? Is it? I mean, it's the Supreme Court. Where does it go after this?
Well, it's hard to say. I should imagine what will happen is we'll have a reserved judgment. So once all the evidence is heard, the law lords will retire and they will analyse and discuss again everything that they've heard, and then we'll have a very public judgment.
Wow, well, I'm looking forward to finding out what a woman is. Finally, Paul Britton, thank you so much for joining us. And I do want to say, Paul, that we are actually getting single-sex toilets being put into GB News. I'm not taking it personally, but it did happen after an incident that I had in it. OK, anyway, next on... I'd had curry. Let's not talk about it. Anyway, next on...